Alright, so here's our end of the Module 1 study guide to get us ready for the module test in a couple days. Before we begin, you guys should know exactly what we should do up at the top, and that is to get our name first and last written down, and today's date. Now, we're going to tackle problem number 1 right now, and before I decide to start filling in the place value charts, I got to make sure that I read the following directions carefully to figure out what the problem wants me to do. So, in the following equations, evolve different quantities and use different operations, yet produce the same result. Use a place value chart and words to explain why this is true. So let's go ahead and figure out where are our math action words or math related words to box to understand what we have to do to complete number 1. So the first sentence is telling me the following equations involve different quantities and use different operations. So I'm looking at those math action words and I'm realizing we have a multiplication problem and a division problem, and both of them have different quantities when we multiply or divide. However, they're going to produce the same result. And another name for result would be the same answer. And so what do they want us to do? They want us to use a place value chart and words to explain why it's true. So what I would like you to do right now is to hit pause and fill out the 2 place value charts based off of what you're supposed to do. And then I would like you to hit play when you have these 2 place value charts filled out. Okay, go ahead and hit pause and then we'll check our work. Alright, so hopefully you got these 2 place value charts filled out. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. The first one, we've got 9 ones and 45 hundredths, and they want us to multiply by 10 to the power of 3. What does 10 to the power of 3 actually mean? Well, that means we're multiplying it by 1,000. Now, hopefully you realize that multiplying by 1,000, our number is going to get larger. So let's go ahead and move this number 3 times because there's 3 zeros in 1,000, or there's that exponent of the 3. So the 9 would go to the tens, hundreds, thousands, and we'll make our arrows point in the right direction. 4 follows behind in the hundreds, 7 follows behind in the tens, and we place a 0 in the ones. Okay, hopefully you got that correct. If not, please make the appropriate changes. Now, we have a different number. We have 9, and I'm going to write backwards so I make sure I put the correct digits in the right place value. So I have 947,000, and I'm dividing by 10 to the power of 2. Well, what is 10 to the power of 2? Well, that's going to be 100, and dividing makes our answer become smaller. So this number will become smaller, moving how many times do you think? That's right, 2 places to the right. So this 0 would go from the ones, the tenths, to the hundredths. That 0 would go into the tenths, followed by that 0, followed by that 0, followed by, oh that's right, that 7 goes into the tens, that 4 goes into the hundreds, and that 9 would go into the thousands. So looking at it, we have the same answer right here. These are the same answers because we don't need those 2 zeros to help us. They're nothing, so we take them away. Technically, we have the same answers. Now what I'd like you to do down below is write an explanation on how the digits moved in each problem, how many times, and why. And you will have at least one sentence explaining how this number moves and another sentence explaining how this number moves. And then what I would like you to do is write your explanation down and actually hit pause, write it down, and then we will come back to see if you have a similar explanation to what I'm about to write. Go ahead and hit pause. All right, so I'm hoping you have some work down right here, and now we're going to kind of review. So let's start with our multiplication sentence. Well, in 9 and 47/100ths, multiply by 10 to the power of 3, comma, the digits moved three place values to the right. Oops, I made a mistake. Good thing I caught myself. It actually moved to the left. Moved to the left because I multiplied by 10 to the power of 3, or 1,000. Okay? So you have something similar, it doesn't need to be word for word, but something similar to my explanation for this problem. You're good. So let's take this one right here. In 947,000 divided by 10 to the power of 2, the digits moved two place values to the right because did I multiply or divide? I divided by 10 to the power of 2, or 100, period. And then we're going to add this final sentence. I'd like you to add it down on your explanation. We're going to say, since we did these two explanations, I want to just confirm that because I did something completely opposite for each problem, I still got the same answer. So, both problems resulted in the same answer. Okay? So there you go. That's the first question on the study guide, which will be the first question on the test. And that's what we'll be doing, is showing place value chart, how it moves, and then explaining down here why, how and why. All right?